Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Beyond the Forecast. StormTracker8 forecaster Tyler Hall here on this Wednesday, March 4th, 2026. And today I'm joined by our meteorologist, Madison Ohms. Madison, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. I'm really happy about the warmer temperatures.
Yes.
Not too happy that maybe a few more clouds are making their way in, but
Right.
it's a good trade-off. I'm happy about the warm temperatures making their way into Central Virginia.
Yeah, I think you, me, and so many people around here are definitely looking forward to, getting outside and enjoying the spring-like weather the next handful of days for sure.
And I know it's been very anticipated, and we have finally come to that point. So it's seeming really nice out there, and over the next couple of days as well.
Yeah, and we're going to get into that in just a little bit, but the topics for today are, with obviously the return of more spring-like weather does come with that severe weather risk, not for us, but for parts of the middle of the country, and of course the heavily anticipated warming trend as well, as we have been talking about. So
yes, absolutely.
there is a couple of events that happened on this date in Central Virginia. So believe it or not, in 1842, there was a tornado that occurred in Cumberland County. So that's in western parts of the viewing area. And then in 1993, the year I was born, actually, there was flash flooding that occurred in Central Virginia.
Yeah, and I mean, it just goes to show that it's not completely out of the question that we're still going to be seeing some severe weather, maybe not for us here in Central Virginia, but it's not out of the question that this happens this early in March for the spring season.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So let's take the big picture of things here, and I'll take this full, and we could both kind of touch on this. So we have this stationary boundary over the mid-Atlantic, and back in the middle of the country, it looks like we have some showers and storms ongoing, Madison.
Yes, and that's really what the focus is going to be on for some of that severe weather that we'll be touching on. We're getting a little bit of that cooler air being ushered in from the northwest, but then we also have that really warm, moist air coming in from the Gulf, and it's just kind of that perfect recipe to be seeing heavier rainfall and more severe weather come into play, especially when we're starting to see more wind shifts with the changes in the temperatures and that system making its way across the country.
Yeah, that's a good point. So we basically are going to be starting to see the next few days the clash of the air masses. So as you said, warm, muggy air from the Gulf and colder, drier air on the other side of that boundary as we take a closer look at things across Virginia. And you have this boundary hanging out around Maryland. It's actually much cooler currently in D.C. as I was looking at current conditions minutes before the show started, and you can see the clouds starting to build out west, Madison.
Yes, and we saw a lot of those rain showers in West Virginia throughout the morning, and we're starting to see them kind of creep into the western portions of the Commonwealth, but as well as those clouds, I know some of us may still be seeing quite a bit of sunshine out there, but then other folks are really starting to see some pretty cloudy conditions for this Wednesday.
Yeah, and speaking of the sun versus the clouds, let's get into that. We have a couple of weather cameras. So this is our rocket's landing camera. Shows that the filtered sunshine out there. And then we have another camera in here that we wanted to show you of the Virginia War Memorial, and it's more sunny.
Yeah, it's looking a lot better at the War Memorial, but it's still feeling wonderful out there with the warm temperatures. It's just kind of that mix of sun and clouds, and as we saw on our satellite and radar, the clouds really are starting to move in for the afternoon.
Yeah, from west to east, we have plenty of moisture out there, out of the Gulf. And this is that stationary boundary that we were talking about that's going to be conducive to bringing some severe weather in the middle of the country.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is taking a look at this morning, but we see progressing throughout the afternoon, a lot more of that is starting to build up right along those boundary points. That, again, warm air being ushered in behind that warm front, but then that cooler air to the northwest of that cold front. It's just kind of that perfect recipe, and a lot of people could be seeing some significant rainfall heading into this evening across the central United States, especially for folks in Missouri, even the most northwestern portions of Arkansas over there, and even dipping down into Oklahoma and Texas. So it's spanning quite a bit.
Yeah, for sure. An expansive system that's going to be kind of hanging out for multiple days. So this is through tonight. There is, as I was reading it earlier, the higher risks are going to be for damaging winds and hail
Yes.
in parts of Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. And there is a risk for isolated tornadoes, but it's a lower risk in these areas.
Right. So we're really just seeing that shift in winds, like you had mentioned, and that's really what aids a lot in severe weather, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. And the fact that, location plays a big factor in this. Access to the Gulf, obviously that moisture coming on in and that boundary hanging out. And it's still going to be kind of hanging around for Thursday, bringing another round of potentially some severe storms tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw on that Wednesday breakdown, there was that cold front that was really just sweeping across much of the country and right along that line, sweeping through Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas. And that's kind of that perfect sweet spot to be seeing these systems happen, especially just how everything is lining up over the next couple of days. I do think we're going to break down Thursday just a little bit more for some of that severe weather as well.
Yeah, getting into that. So this is tomorrow. That front that's, again, stalled basically over Maryland and back in the middle of the country. That's going to be progressing more to the north and east tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely. And that still shows quite a bit of some rain chances and heavier rainfall, which means some folks could still be seeing some flooding occur with this rainfall right along these boundaries. And it's just that warm air still pushing north, and that's going to be behind, or like we're behind it, so to speak. So that's where we're going to see quite a bit of that warm up that's not only here, but here to stay for a few days.
Yeah, and tomorrow, based on this graphic we're showing you, but also based on our latest forecast, tomorrow's going to be a completely dry day. So that's a little bit of good news.
Yes, that is something I'm very much looking forward to. But along those boundaries, as that low pressure system was moving and that warm front was moving north and east and that cold front was following right behind it, this is where a lot of people could be getting that rainfall. I mean, some folks maybe up to 4 inches of rain, and very beneficial rain. I feel like much of the United States is in a drought right now, or a rainfall deficit. So it's very welcomed, but also we need to be mindful when we see severe weather occur, because it could be very damaging and very harmful to us.
Right. The more spring-like conditions not only come with, warmer temperatures, the potential for severe storms, but also the potential for flooding rain. So that's a really good point there for March, but also getting into April and May, we'll be dealing with these type of threats as well across the country.
Yeah.
So as we all know, Monday and Tuesday were just downright chilly for sure.
Not fun.
Yeah, I was in multiple layers the past couple of days trying to stay warm out there, but today is completely different.
It's going to feel absolutely amazing, and more like what we were seeing on Sunday for the first day of the month. But like you said, Monday and Tuesday, I don't want to call it miserable, but it was not comfortable out there. It was still very, very chilly. Even much of Tuesday, we were staying in the 30s throughout much of the early afternoon hours, and then we finally peaked back up into the mid 40s. But it was a little different than what we were hoping for. But I know that warm up is finally here. It's been 98 days since we were back in the 70s.
Yeah, so this past weekend I did some digging and found that November 26th, so the week of Thanksgiving last year, so nearly 100 days ago, was the last time we hit at least 70, if not a little bit higher. So, it's definitely a welcome change for sure for Richmond and Central Virginia as a whole, for sure.
Yeah, after that winter that we had, especially that January storm, I know we were all just waiting and waiting to see that warmer weather finally make its way back in, and it is going to stay around for the next couple of days. So that's also something I'm looking forward to, is to finally get outside, maybe go for a walk, explore the area a little bit more. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that this afternoon after work and school, but the rest of this work week, I think A lot of people will be out and about enjoying the outdoors. All of our amazing parks around this region are probably going to be loaded with a lot of people out walking. So
Yeah, I
take
don't blame
advantage of
them
it.
by any means. And if people are a fan of grilling, we're also going to have some great nights for the rest of the week, even heading into the weekend, where you can grill outside, eat outside maybe if you're feeling up for it. It's just going to feel wonderful.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, and again, it's all thanks to this really strong high pressure over the southeast that's pumping in that moisture to Virginia and surrounding states out of the Gulf, bringing these above average conditions.
Yeah, they're going to feel great. And then temperatures, even right now for us, we're seeing temperatures well above average. I mean, usually we're in the mid 50s for this time of year.
Right.
And we're pushing 70 today, and even the following days, we're going to be back in the mid 70s, which is close to 20 degrees above average for this time, especially starting off the month of March.
Yeah, pretty significant for sure. And again, a really strong high over us, but things may change a little bit by the middle of this month.
Yeah, we are starting to see those warmer than average conditions finally push out of the way. We're still in those light orangey colors across central Virginia, but that means we're slightly above average. But then if we take a look just a little bit north and west, cooler air is going to be ushered back into the United States from Canada, and that's predominantly going to affect first folks in the northern Midwest and parts of Chicago, Wisconsin, even up in Minnesota there.
Yeah, and that, to be honest, it's not entirely surprising. March definitely has still that possibility of some cold snaps across the country from time to time. March is very much a transition month in the overall weather in the United States in general, right? So that is not entirely surprising, but then I'm sure, in late March, we'll kind of see things warming up again in those areas that see a little bit of a cooler stretch.
Yeah, it's almost like a little bit of a roller coaster with our temperatures going on, but this is kind of the natural flux of things too. We oftentimes see maybe a warming trend, and it may start out west, and then it kind of starts to make its way east a little bit more, but when we get the warmer weather, they sometimes get the cooler weather, so it is a pretty frequent pattern that we see. But like you said, March is a transition month where you can see those warmer than average conditions like we're experiencing, but also you dip back down. We're still not officially in the astronomical spring season yet. And so
March 20th. Yep.
we're seeing, still some winter-like conditions, and it makes sense because we're still in that winter season.
Yeah, and basically today and the next handful of days across the country, we're under that ridge, bringing all that warm air, while out west they're under a trough or the opposite, so below average conditions. And things, constantly shift and change, every week. So, but that's what we're going to be enjoying, the ridge, bringing some very nice temperatures here for the rest of the week.
I am looking forward to it, especially on Friday, even Saturday to start off our weekend back in the mid 70s. A potential for maybe a stray shower here or there on Friday. And then Saturday, we'll stay dry most of the day. It's really until we get to those evening and overnight hours that some rain showers could start to affect us here at home.
Right. And another thing to note here, Madison, is the overnight temperatures are going to be incredibly mild. I mean, look at this, 50, 55, 60. So this morning before I came into work, I turned off the heat in my apartment, and I'm sure many of you did. So this will help the electric bill side of things when it comes to the warmer temperatures.
No doubt about that. And when we're heading out in the morning for a morning commute or getting ready for the day, we don't really need to bundle up. Sometimes we've had some mornings that were still maybe in the 30s, for instance, and we had some pleasant afternoons, but everything is just going to be staying mild and warm. So that is something I'm looking forward to, that I don't really need to bundle up and feel frigid as I'm heading out my door.
Yeah, I agree with that. No heat at home, no heat in the car, not having a coat or a jacket. Now, something important to note here this weekend, we got to adjust our clocks. Technically Sunday at 2 a.m., but when you go to bed Saturday night, you got to adjust them 1 hour ahead.
Yeah, you will lose that hour of sleep, but that means our sunsets are going to be a little bit later in the day, and our days are only getting longer from here until we reach that summer solstice in the just a few months from now. So we are
Right.
starting to see more sunlight and more daylight. So it's also one of those trade-off scenarios where maybe we lose the hour of sleep for now, but it's for better things to come.
Yeah, absolutely. So daylight saving time starts on Sunday. So don't forget to adjust those clocks. We'll be reminding you like crazy the next few days. And did want to throw in kind of a fun poll question at the end. I'm sure many folks are going to say, yes, we are beyond ready for the more spring-like weather. That's for sure.
Yeah, and let us know in the comments below how you're going to be enjoying the nice weather, especially before we could be seeing that little bit of a cool down in the next 8 to 14 days.
Yeah, and again, there are some signs that we could cool off a little bit in the middle of the month, but I'm sure based on the fact that we're getting more daylight, the sun is stronger, that cool down, if and when it does happen, will be short-lived.
Yes, absolutely.
So, well, thank you so much for joining us for Beyond the Forecast today. Hopefully you get outside and enjoy it. And of course, later on today, Matt will have an updated look at your 8-day forecast.